Before the break, we heard from Arne Slot. He refused to talk about non-Liverpool players when asked about Alexander Isak. He said he's very happy with the squad, but he did admit Darwin may leave, though things are not fully signed just yet. What's the very latest when it comes to Darwin's potential move away from Anfield?
Yeah, well, this is very much in the players' camp at the moment. It's obviously a big decision for him to decide if he wants to join Saudi Pro League side Al Hilal. We know the deal has been agreed between the two parties. It's going to be a guaranteed fee of 53 million euros, which could potentially get to 65 million euros depending on performance-related add-ons. So, once again, Liverpool doing exceptional business with selling players. You look at Luis Diaz going to Bayern Munich and Darwin Núñez going to Al Hilal, and that's going to be around 120 million euros depending on add-ons, which is significant, which shows just how well run they are and how clever they've been, and the fact they've already reinvested that money into players that they've signed. Be interesting to see what Darwin's situation is, because he is very much in talks with Al Hilal at the moment. It pretty much looks like it's all agreed and sorted, but until we get that official confirmation, he could yet decide this isn't the right move for me. But it certainly is heading in the right direction.
So, Rob, Diaz out, Núñez out, Ekitike and Wirtz in. Do they need Alexander Isak as well?
I think I was talking about it yesterday. If Liverpool want to go to that next level, yes, absolutely. And I think they are. I think they're ready. They just won the Premier League, but I also think they're targeting the Champions League as well. And a little bit of disappointment from their kind of run, because I think they were one of the favourites last season, didn't manage that. If Isak comes in, it puts them right to the top of the list, one of the big favourites for the Champions League. I think that's the next chapter. Do they want him? Do they need him? Yeah, absolutely. He is one of the very best. I consider maybe him, Haaland, Kane, but Isak is right there as one of the world-class forwards. I think for any team, he would take them to that next level.
Arne Slot was also asked about signing a centre-back. He said he wanted to focus on the options he currently has, accepting that Ryan Gravenberch, Andy Robertson and Endo could all feature at centre-back if required. He also admitted that Jeremy Frimpong is an option to replace Mohamed Salah on the right flank when he plays at the African Cup of Nations. Mark, you covered this transfer, Frimpong to Anfield. Does that surprise you at all that he is going to be considered as a right-back and as a right winger as well?
No, he's played that role predominantly as a right wing back, but he can also play at right back, although that's not really his position. And operating in those advanced areas as well is probably where you're going to get the best out of Jeremy Frimpong. As you've touched upon, Liverpool don't just want to go and win the Premier League, they want to go and win the Champions League. And if you go to the latter stages of that competition, you're going to play 14, 15 games, give or take. As well as Premier League matches, League Cup matches, FA Cup matches. You're going to need a deep squad that's capable of competing. So therefore, they need two quality players in every position. They know they're going to lose Mo Salah. Jeremy Frimpong was really sensible business because he had a release clause at 35 million euros and he was exceptional last season. So it was a no-brainer of a deal to do. So therefore, it makes sense, really. And he gives them that versatility, which is something Arne Slot wants from all of the signings he's made. He wants players that can play in multiple positions. Jeremy Frimpong will certainly do that. Conor Bradley will probably be the right back, but they do have options as well, which I think is key moving forward.
Rob, do you think they need to sign another centre-back? Jarrod Quansah went for big money to Bayer Leverkusen, so does it feel like they're a little bit short? It's tough to break in with the centre-backs, Konate and Van Dijk, but do you think, with that in mind, wanting to win every competition they play in this season, they could do with it with a little bit more there? Mark Gay was a player that's been linked. Yeah,
listen, Gay is the one that I think of straight away. But I think with Liverpool, Kerkez has come in. Konate and Van Dijk, those two are solid. But I think nobody's replacing Van Dijk. He's too good, too special. But Konate is the other one because sometimes he misses games. And somebody to maybe sometimes give Van Dijk a little bit of a rest sometimes. So they've got so many games, but I think they do because they've heavily put so much money in the forward line. I think maybe one kind of defender would be more ideal for them because they're going to have so many games. You know, you need sometimes to when you have an injury to mix it up.
OK, we wait to see what Liverpool do in the rest of this transfer market. Now, developments involving John McGinn, who's not for sale after Aston Villa rejected an £18 million offer from Everton. Mark, just bring us up to speed on this. He's not going anywhere, is he?
Well, it's certainly doesn't look like it. And if you speak to anyone at the top of Aston Villa, they're saying not for sale. Club captain, absolutely no chance. We don't want to lose him. He's going into the final 2 years of his Aston Villa contract. We know how important he is to Unai Emery and that team, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. He's an exceptional captain, exceptional leader, and someone that really brings and gels that dressing room together. But you can understand why there is interest in a player of his calibre and quality. David Moyes loves his leadership skills, loves his experience, and of course that versatility, because he can play in multiple positions as well. So that's why there is that attraction to someone who I guess they maybe felt like they could tease out of Aston Villa. We know that Aston Villa have to be respectful and mindful of FFP and PSR at the moment as well, because of their current situation. And maybe there will be one or two clubs that just try and tempt them with an offer. He is 30 years old. Now, he's not got a huge resale value, although we've been saying for years that resale value doesn't exist. Look at Sonny going to LAFC for £20 million at 33. So, you know, if you're the right type of player, you've got the right type of global profile, there is still value there.
There's still value there. You know, John McGinn's an interesting one because this is my take on it. Everton have gone in and said, listen, would you take 18 million? I think if they up it, there'll be more of a discussion because he's a quality player, quality leader, fits Everton perfectly. Does 30 million tempt you? I think there'll be more conversations with that.
It's amazing to think he signed for Aston Villa as a 23-year-old under Steve Bruce in 2018. They could be tempted by a higher fee, but you can understand why Aston Villa don't want to let him go. He's so integral for that dressing room and on the pitch, a brilliant player as well.
Yeah, he's excellent. What you're going to get from McGinn is absolute heart, quality at the right time, leadership, but also I think he's underrated in terms of he's all round. He's tackles, he's creating, he'll give the pass before the final pass. You know, so he adds so much to a team, and of course Aston Villa is not going to want him to leave. Absolutely not. Maybe the right price, they might look at it, but as footballing wise, no chance. I don't think he actually leaves. But there'll be some discussions and temptation for sure if the price goes up higher.
I think there's a lot of Hibernian fans as well that are desperate for John McGinn to leave because I believe they're entitled to 15% of any profit, and then they have to share a chunk of their profit with St Mirren. So there's two teams north of the border that are desperately hoping that John McGinn leaves because they're going to be entitled to some money as well from the sell-ons that they've placed within their contracts and their negotiations. So, yeah, every time I talk about John McGinn, Hibs fans message me and say, what's happening, is he going? You know, because obviously for them, that chunk of money could be quite substantial for them to reinvest as well. So, yeah.
Well, Hibs fans and St Mirren fans, stay tuned for the very latest on Sky Sports News. Now, on the way, Bournemouth are active in the market, as are Tottenham, as they look to find a replacement for James Maddison following his ACL injury. We'll discuss that and more in a few minutes' time.